Alright, let's get comfy. So the last couple of days I've been catching up on some videos from the V100s community, the people working on their comic books every day. Focus. So there's Josh, and there's Ron, and there's CB Smallwood, who made his 100th. Let's see, are there any other people squeaking by? Yeah. So there's 3 of them. Hello everyone, welcome to Sketchalona, episode 56. It's New Year's Eve later on today, so we're gonna be heading off to a party. But I'm having after drawing way too much just the other day, I'm having a very lazy Sunday morning, sketching, watching stuff, finishing up TV shows, and just kind of being like the cat. So let me show you what I've been up to in my little sketchbook this week. And so I like to sketch while I have some YouTube videos on in the background, so I can watch them and just listen in on some vlogs. And then I usually just get carried away with like drawing people in the news, or people who just come by, or just take a face, rotate it, and turn it. And so let me just quickly show you some of the pages that I've been drawing. That's another one of the V100s, but I can't remember his name right now because he's still kind of newish. Some more faces. These were drawn pretty fast, and so I really like the differences in the shapes and the expressions and like the energy. Really fond of that. I like drawing on top of them then with the thinner mechanical pencil to really work out some more details. And lately my workflow has been a lot more like trying to keep it really rough, and then instead of using everything that I drew underneath, using it as if it was colored, and then just drawing what little lines I actually need to do, and leaving, like if I draw all this black, for example, well, I could just leave that to the colorist and just highlight the actual line art, and that's it. In a hope that this will kind of pull back on my tendency to over-render. So this drawing, which was based off Ron Jones, who's, I think he's at like, I just watched day 67 of his 100-day run. The 100 days of making comics, if you don't know, it was started by Kevin Cross, and you spend half an hour or more each day working on your personal comic book project. I did my run haphazardly. I should do another for 2018. But there's lots of people still working on their comic books every day and posting videos about it every day, like short little videos. And it's really fun keeping track of them. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll be sure to put some links down below. You should check them out. So, got carried away basing this off one of the V100s guys and the scarf he was wearing. And I kind of like where this is going as a drawing. And I like how rough it still is. And just kind of, that real physicality of the pencil. But that doesn't always translate to inks. And so how to do that? And I find I'm finding this little workflow where instead of assuming that I'm going to erase the pencil, I'm keeping it as a guide for color later. And so this doesn't have to be all black. This doesn't have to follow the actual lines. I just ink on top of it. And it's fun because before I would always see tightening up the pencils as the tightest pencils I have, which simply then be traced in ink. And now I'm seeing it more as this different side of the coin, so to speak. It's just a different way of inking, like a different attitude towards it. I don't think either one is right or wrong or better. It's just for myself right now. It's like a fun way of experimenting with the workflow between pencil and inking. So yeah, Also try drawing my cat and seeing a little Yoda in here, you know, if you cross him with a hut. Some more people who were in the news or talking about the news. These I went in pretty much with the thin pencil straight away, and I find it a lot harder to get to the thicker lines appropriately, and it gets really messy. But I think this one came out okay. I just think it would benefit more if some of these thicker lines that I end up settling on would have been drawn like smooth in one go, rather than so, you know, like sketched out, so to speak. But again, like, there's a lot of shading I do put in there, like, so there's highlights over here, light and shadow, but I don't draw it in the line art. I just leave it out. Like, I just hint at it where it should be. Like, I have to get better at that. Again, like, there's a lot of information in this face about where light and shadow is, but a lot of it, I still feel I overdid it, even though I think it's okay in this one, but because here she ends up looking a lot older than she is, so I need to soften that up. But I think, like, if this were in color, it'd be perfect little guide. So yeah, I think if I put this in Photoshop, I need to learn to take that information and keep it as a guide, but store it on a separate layer. And then if I do have a colorist one day, then still send it off to them, so that, I mean, should you want to have a say in the coloring process as the artist, or should it just be a suggestion they can discard? So CB Smallwood, I always enjoy his videos a lot. He's got his comic book Wildcat going. He reached the 100th day, taking a little detour, or taking his own time, just like I did when I did my 100 days. So I can totally relate. But he never gave up on making his comic book. So I was really looking forward to his 100th video. So congratulations. You guys should check him out. And then inspired by the art that was just on display, like, this is one of his characters. I really liked the smile he put, and I wanted to have fun with that shape. My drawing doesn't look that good. It's too messy, but it was fun, like, learning how to draw these shapes for the mouth, like these little, what do you call them, trapezoids. Again, my cat was watching me draw, so I decided to draw my cat. And their faces, like, it's really tricky to, like, there's so many shapes I see. You do want to draw them, but you don't want to draw them, and then, yeah, it's just the fluffiness of the ears just kind of gets lost in the line art. Very fond of this drawing and these guys. They were kind of based off of Brian's video, and then I just took it in, like, you know, I just started drawing away. I think this one would benefit from some very thick, heavy shadows here and there, but I quite like it, and I quite like where this comic booky style on this page is going, like this, you know. Just fun little side characters. So what else has been happening? She-Summer. This was a fun drawing because I saw this guy in the news in some article, and I think this lady was in an ad or something. I can't remember exactly. So anyway, so I was just drawing people, and, like, you know, like, just by putting them beside each other and then thinking of the suggestion, perfect timing, like, because he was so upset and there was a pretty lady, and then I thought free hugs, and it just kind of built the image like that for that day. So I think it came out as a fun little scene. Over here, I was afraid it would smear. So it's a pretty good 2 pages, I think. Another scene, I simply drew the lady, and then there was a suggestion of window, and then I thought window shopping. So I wanted to draw the shadows of the windows across them, turn it into a shopping street. And I was like, perfect, I can draw some, like I can do some figure drawing as well. So they're all ladies, and they're all going about their business, shopping for the holidays. Put some lights in the background. Quite happy how it came out. I think over here it's a little too messy. I think it's okay, but like I think I didn't really know how to do this fur coat of the lady. I think this could be done with less, you know, or with a thinner pen, so the outlines stand out a little bit more. So what else? Powerful lady, economist from the US that I found on Wikipedia because I didn't know what to draw. Some more people that just came by in images. I think this was from when I went down a Pinterest hole. I don't really use Pinterest anymore. I don't know if anyone else has that. I find it kind of, I don't know, there's something really cool about it when it was just boards, and then it turned into something, I don't even know what it is. But I get lost in all the imagery, and some of it's interesting, and some of it is just, I don't know. It becomes too much of a time suck. The ladies from my comic book. So, of course, I'm gonna be working very hard on making Phosphor a reality once again in 2018. That is my promise to you. So expect more updates on that. But I had fun drawing them like favorite, and so I just thought of my favorite character, but I couldn't pick one, so I just drew all of them. And I kind of lightened up on the art style, making it very cartoony. And I thought, like, this is really cool. Like, I really like how it came out. You know, so something to think about. Whereas this lady over here, which was Sour Taste, is definitely a lot. Well, I talked about this last week actually, but it's a fun comparison, right next to each other like that. So yeah, if you want to see more of this, that was the previous week's episode. So what else have I been doing this week? Let's get into that. So last week I showed you a little side project I was having, which is the Double Dragon video game. This is the original Area 1 as I found it online. I thought I'd have a little fun with it and just expand on the world map. So what if you could go through the door? What if you could go up here? There's a ladder already. What if you could fall down there? That kind of thinking, just for fun, you know? Instead of just building out what I've been doing, using the assets in the map as it is, I've gone to sketch out a little world. So I don't know if this is very clear. I don't think it is. So let's just enlighten you a little bit. Basketball field. Buildings, some trees, streets, and a playground. So you can walk down here, you can walk along here, and I think you can go up like that, and you can go all the way down to a busy road with like a used cars sales lot and big advertising boards. So to make sense of my
of my little sketch, all of a sudden it dawned on me that I should use the same technique people use for comic books and lay down some flats. So off I went and just laid down very basic colors for the buildings and the roads, and you know, just to make a little bit more sense of it. Okay, so that bridge still needs a bit of work, but this whole area over here is starting to make a lot more sense. And it's even like when you drop the sketch layer, see, when I look at it like this, all of a sudden it's pixel clear. You know, these are the buildings, so I need the front, I need the bricks, I need windows. I can't use the same ones again. I could from the different buildings, but I don't want to. So now I can look at each one of these blocks as a separate little pixel art project. And oh, what happened here? So the way I've been lining them up is I draw a square, I duplicate the square and just drag it over, and then just connect the corners to get that same perspective, isometric I think they call it, to keep that going. So let me zoom out just a little bit. So if I zoom, there we go. There's the level we started with. This is about the screen size. So just massively expand it downwards, so you can just walk along into a little neighborhood. And it's fun and exciting, and it's really like this world building. I mean, it's very, like I said in last week's video, it's very relaxing. Just coloring in and like adding a little flair, and it's just such a different way of drawing that it really refreshes my imagination and just the fun for painting, while at the same time, you know, I still feel like at the end of the day, even though I haven't done my usual projects, like I feel like a kind of satisfaction, and I really like that, you know, because I do this, I obsess about it a little bit, and then I step away, and like I keep wanting to come back to this because I just have that one-track mind mentality going. But then when I do sit down on a different project, I'm all like, all right, like I feel like these little bite-sized pieces of the map that I'm filling in is like, oh, I've accomplished something. Now I can do something that I find really hard, which is like, you know, working out the details of my story and like characters and like, you know, like that feels like a mountain to climb. But when I've done this and then go to the comic book, it's a little bit less like, oh, just do that one character. Like all of a sudden this project kind of, I don't know, it's having a very positive effect on my other projects. So it bleeds over. So that's kind of where I left off last week. I think I finished up to about here, and then I just went sideways, added the top of a building, went all construction site, and connected different parts of the map. I still feel like I need to do something here, like maybe a movable platform or something. I figure you should be able to jump down here in one piece, or maybe put a lift here, because of course this is the next area. I took out the background here. There was more of this and then all black in between, so I took that all out so you can see through it, and I feel like it really opens up the whole area, you know? The original, I even feel like this boring gray building makes a little bit more sense. Added some more barrels, added the, there we go. So yeah, just really fun, you know, just building out this world that I was so enamored with as a kid, pumping quarters in the arcade. But enough about the little video game background. It's the end of the year, people. It's time for some New Year's resolutions. Mine are going to be pretty simple. I'm going to be working on my comic book. I think that's to get the level of priority in my head. I really like what Marshall put forth in his 365 days of comics, to just, work on your comic book every single day. That's kind of that's where I want to be at. So that might mean another 100-day run, because, I really like the structure of it. It's very clear. There's the keeping yourself accountable through the videos and the blogs. And I might do that right after we make the big announcement for the Kickstarter. So we're gonna be doing a Kickstarter for a comic book 20 of us have been working on, and the date is getting closer and closer. I know I've been saying that for a couple of videos, but we're very close. We're talking like in the next week or so, or the week after that, like the 3rd or the 10th. That's the latest word on the street. And that street's name is Facebook Lane. So yeah, very exciting. But yes, my 2018 is going to be finishing up that comic book and making sure everyone gets to read it. I'm keeping it very simple. No like picking up running or going to the gym. No eating healthy. None of that. That's all secondary. So, whatever your plans might be for tonight, I'm off to a little party in Puebla Español, seeing what's going on over there. And whatever your plans may be tonight, watch out for the fireworks. Cats doesn't like him, And I'll be seeing you guys on the other side of 2018, 17. No, wait. Have a good night.